Hello, while recovering from a minor surgery, I have time to do things a job and kids have left none for, such as games. Unfortunately, as a miser, I have few options, but there are free games, betas, and unusually feature-complete demos. So I hop on to the Potato PC I'm willing to spend money on, plug in the TV monitor, ready to spend zero money. This is Castle of the Winds, an old game from my childhood. It appears a lot of such games can be run in an internet browser nowadays, which is excellent, and of course free. So of course, I'll have a quick game. Definitely want strength, constitution, and a bit of intelligence. Of course, as I'm not a child anymore, I shall play the expert mode. See how that goes. Light arrow, or magic arrow, is of course the first spell, otherwise you die instantly. Let's see, how does this go? Movement, shops. Let's see, what starter gear shall we buy? I think the best is armor to begin with. This is the dump store where we dump unwanted items. What's this? Oh, this is a junk store, apparently. The other one is no idea. We want armor. How much money do we have? 1,500 copper pieces. Excellent. Need to get used to the controls again. Let's see what armor they have. Unsure if we can actually afford such a shiny cape, but we shall take a cloak. Which follow the dotted line to where it goes. See boots. Unfortunately, that appears to be all the items that we want from this shop. Nothing here. Nothing here. Of course, we go down this road to advance the story, but we don't care about. We're here to kill things and make money. Over here is the next game, or next part of the game, where this is the current dungeon we will be exploring. The first layer of this dungeon is not random. Let's see. We shall apply this armor. Kill a creature in here. I can't remember what it is, but we shall find out momentarily. Rats, and of course we're on completely shredded by the rats. That's why we have the magic arrow of keeping us alive. The hit points will slowly regenerate. shall explore this area carefully, as there are monsters here. What's this? A goblin. Uninjured. We shall fix that. Now we have loot. Let's see if there's any shortcuts. To pick up items. Probably this one. Mana will be important. However, finding a safe place and restoring mana will be half the game. It looks like we've got 2 dead ends. Unfortunately, it doesn't auto search the area around a dead end, so I shall have to find the command. There we go. In here we have a pair of boots. Saves coming to find out if an item is cursed. It's highly recommended. That's if you want to win. It appears we're about to buy. Not buy. It appears I'm about to die from a pathetic zombie, which is unfortunate. And we've got no mana. So it's going to be a gamble. It appears we have won and not died. However, we shall rest until healed. I'm interrupted, which is not good. But it appears to be a weak enemy that we are probably going to die to. Excellent. Dying is going to be quite common, I suspect, as I put the game onto the hardest difficulty. So we shall go again. Here's the armor. This is what I was searching for last go, but it appears I completely flunked out on where it was. We don't need leather armor, as that's always going to appear. However, we do want cheap armor, which is going to be the helmets and maybe a shield. 1 helmet. How much is a shield? Excellent. Medium shield will be probably beyond the capabilities, and braces are pretty cheap. Anything to keep us alive, and gauntlets, yes, are cheap too. Anything to increase our survivability. Let's see, how much do we have? And the small wooden shield, yes, we can get that. Excellent. See if we can get a cloak. Overgarment. Anything else in here? Boots are cheap too. There we go. Leave and straight back into it. try and kill the kobold with the dagger. Forget. And almost die. The armor goes in the corner. Luckily, the top layer is pretty safe. Mana, however, takes an extreme amount of time to regenerate. There's only one rat there. I thought there were two. Perhaps I'm mistaken. Hopefully we can turn this into money, but it appears not to have worked this time. Very sad. It appears we've appeared in a dangerous room. However, this is why we have magic arrow to save us. And straight away, we shall rest for mana, get interrupted, and then spend all the mana we don't have. And repeat. That's quite a slow timer, but what can you do? A shield, a small wooden shield, that appears to be what we already have. A teleporter trap, very dangerous. We can look at the map, see how far away we are from the exit. That is quite a distance, but hopefully we shall make it back. A scroll, we'll need to identify that if we want to get money out of it, which will cost money. Truly a painful situation. To get the stats to survive downstairs, we will want to clear out each floor one at a time. If you do stay on a floor long enough, the monsters will repopulate. The traps will get annoying right until we get boots of levitation, and then should be perfectly fine. Hide in the corner, not that I think it'll help. Poisoned and no magic, very bad situation. And we're dead. Oh dear, one more go. Perhaps a better weapon first. Not that I think it will help much, as the strongest weapon you can get is magic arrow. Normal small wooden shield, yes. This is way too expensive for us. We would skip all these and get equivalents in the dungeon. However, we're unlikely to survive that far. No money. Whoops. Don't think the cloak was the deciding factor. Kill the cold. I think it is the weakest or one of the weakest enemies in the game, apart from rats. Of course, this is expert difficulty, so we shall claim they're deadly because they are. Excellent, the conversion into money has worked. Don't need to explore too much as it is always the same. Rusted armor, truly a shame and not worth much. Weight is calculated in this game when it comes to carrying capacity and volume, so that is more than worthless as it'll weigh a lot and take up carrying space. A one-time trap of falling rocks. That missed. Excellent. Truly, melee weapons at the beginning of the game are quite pathetic. Save me, magic arrow. Excellent. And then we shall retreat right into the corner and restore mana. Not cowardly at all, it is merely survival. Let's see, there's probably a door here. However, we are not looking for that door, but maybe a different door to the rest of the dungeon. If you go to map, you see we're at the bottom, so the rest of the dungeon is probably up here. It appears we'll have to just search randomly, which is not good. However, the door will most likely be up in this room. Right here, it looks like. Good. And a teleport trap. It appears expert difficulty have set the trap volume quite high. I can't remember what to do when poisoned, which is very bad, as I don't think we'll automatically get poisoned removed. No idea how to remove poison, which is unfortunate. One way of getting XP though, I remember, is to disarm traps. Excellent. Let's see. Need to get to the next level, hopefully. A rat, truly a deadly creature. A magic book, very, very valuable. However, we're out of mana, which is terrible as we die instantly. And that is Castle of Ruins. It appears a lot of old games, as I said, can be run in a browser nowadays, which is very nice.